Greetings from Diazonic Labs. Hello everyone. So I am taking up this particular challenge of taking the practice test for UiPath RPA Associate version 1.0. Okay. So I have come onto this particular page. I'll just log in here with Diazonic Labs, and then I'll also give here Diazonic Labs at gmail.com. Okay, relationship with UiPath. So I'll just say that I am a student or educator. Country India. Okay, sorry, India, and I do not agree. Okay, because otherwise it will just spam my inbox. All right, so UiPath privacy policy. This is a time practice test. Your time will start. Okay, let us see. Login and wait. Okay, it is running. So yes, okay, what is this? The practice test will be updated, will be unavailable. Okay, this is all fine. So we have got products on 2019-10. Okay, let us see how much do I get here. Start answering the question. Okay, fine. So the best part about this is that you have got one option here, review later, so that you can review all of your questions if in case you want to keep it checked for the end part, right? So totally there are 51 questions and time has started. Let us see. Okay, so first question, which function or functions is available with an attended robot? Okay, so responsible for remote execution, monitoring and scheduling, ability to continue execution under a locked screen. Okay, uh yes. Okay, so ability, which function is available? Okay, and started from robot tray or command prompt. Okay, used for debugging and testing purpose. Okay, so this is a little tricky question. So responsible for remote execution, monitoring and scheduling. Okay, then ability to, so this is only one answer which I will have to select. Ability to continue execute under a locked skin, started from robot tray. Okay, so I'll go ahead with this, started from robot tray or command prompt. Let us see whether this is right or not. I'll just anyways keep this review later part. Okay, next question. So it is processing and let us wait. Okay, so a customer calls into call center to get an update on the current outstanding payment. Consider the following use case. Okay, the customer provides the customer ID to call center representative. Okay, customer provides the customer ID to call center. Okay, fine. Then call center representative inputs the customer ID into web application. Okay, data is scraped into web application. Calculations are performed by the bot. The outstanding amount is provided to the customer over the this one. Okay, if the process is automated, what is the minimum number of steps that require manual intervention? Okay, so manual intervention, how many steps? The customer provides the customer ID to, okay, this is one manual. The call center represents, this is second. Third, this one, no, it is performed by robot, not required, not required. So last one, again one more, so that is three. Okay, let's see next page. Right, so two down. Let's see, 49 more to go. Okay, what type of automation does UiPath support? Okay, so it supports attended, unattended and hybrid, right? So three of them are also there. So I will select this first option and next page. Which component of UiPath platform is used to develop workflows? Okay, so we develop it in Studio. Orchestrator is used for deploying. Agent is for running the bot, which is a robot, and then UI Explorer, this is for selectors. Okay, so next page, that is correct. Fine. So this is taking some time. Okay, fine. Which describes a characteristic of UiPath robot? Okay. So attended and studio robots can be used without a password. Standard robots can work on standard machines and templates. Robot can't be deleted even if they do not have any pending or active jobs attached to them. No specific permission is required for the user to create a robot. Okay, so this is again confusing. Attended and studio robots can be used without a password. Attended robot, and studio robot, no, we need a password for that. Standard robot can work on standard machine and templates, which describes the characteristics. Okay, robots cannot be deleted even if they don't have any pending job attached to them. No specific permission is required for the user to create a robot. I'm confused between this and this. Okay, standard robots cannot be. I'll again keep this review later. We'll come back to it later. Next page. During development, a breakpoint is enabled at a particular activity. Okay, later the developer publishes the package to UiPath orchestrator. Okay, when the process runs from UiPath robot in an unattended mode, what is the expected behavior? Okay, so when a robot runs in an unattended mode, so process causes a robot to crash due to breakpoint. Process generates an exception error due to breakpoint. Breakpoint will cause the process to pause indefinitely. Breakpoint will have no impact. So process generates an exception error due to breakpoint. I think so. This will be no. Breakpoint will cause the process to pause indefinitely. So breakpoint means that when you are running, it will stop at that particular point, right? So if you are enabling breakpoint at particular activity, it will stop indefinitely until you go ahead and you do this particular thing. Okay, fine. So next, developer finished creating a workflow based on debugging best practice. What is the correct sequence of steps that should be performed to test and debug any resulting error? Okay, from the drop down list, select the correct sequence number in which each step should be performed. Okay, run in debug mode, add breakpoints at the activities throwing the exceptions, and invoke workflows that contains the error. Select validate from execute tab and remove any validation error. Run the workflow and find the execution error. Okay, so the very first thing what you need to do is you need to select validate from the execute tab and remove any validation error. Okay, that will be the first thing. Then find the execution errors, and then wherever you have got errors, add the breakpoints and then run in debug mode. Okay, so select validate, run the workflow, add the breakpoints, run in debug mode. Okay, that should be correct. Next page. What describes the function of UiPath version control? Okay, so this is used for connecting with Git, TFS, and SVM. But let us see. Provides a developer an effective way to create larger projects that require collaboration between multiple users. Okay, this seems to be correct. Let us anyways read the other answers as well. Enables a file that is checked out from TFS or SVN repository to be simultaneously checked out. Okay, this can't happen simultaneous. Provides the ability to prohibit the comparison between the local version and the one checked in repository. No. Enables a developer to efficiently connect at the same time. No, again it can't. Okay, so the first one is the correct answer. Alright, so which UiPath Studio panel can be used to change the scope of variable? Scope of variable, it can be done in variables panel itself. Okay, so next. What are the differences between variables and arguments? Variables are used to pass the data within workflow and arguments outside, right? So the first one can't be. Variables manage the data only inside this one. Argument pass between activities in the same workflow. No. Okay, so variables pass the data between activities in the same workflow, manage the data inside an activity. No. So fourth one, variables pass the data between activities inside workflow, argument pass the data between workflows. Between activities inside workflow, pass the data between workflows. Okay, this is confusing. Once again, let me read. Arguments is confusing here. Pass the data between activities inside workflow. In the same workflow. No, this is between. Yeah, this is correct. Okay, next page. A developer has created a process that includes main.xaml file. Okay, this is the one. So we have got invoke supermarket workflow. Okay, import arguments. Okay, and he is trying to print fruits. Okay, so in fruits we have got a string which says apple. Okay, fine. And then main XML file invokes the supermarket.xml workflow using the following argument. Okay, in basket in. Okay, it is going in, and then string fruits. Okay, So detailed supermarket XML sequence and right hand side of the expression is given below. Okay, so in shopping basket equals to in shopping basket. Okay, it is just adding here. Okay, so expression editor is given, so they are adding here orange as well. Okay, fine. So orange is added inside this shopping basket, and this supermarket is actually called here. This is the argument which is actually called here. Okay, fine. So I'm not able to understand supermarket sequence supermarket. Okay, okay, fine. So what are the options? Okay, based on the information, what is the output of the right line? Okay, so in the main XML file, so main XML file is given here, right line of fruits. Okay, so I want to know what is inside fruits. So apple orange comma orange. Okay, what is it going to be? So the very first thing here, by default fruits is apple, and you will print that particular thing. And after that, in shopping basket, so where is shopping basket? Okay, shopping basket is putting this particular value inside fruits. Okay, so fruits value is plus orange. Okay, this is a little confusing. Supermarkets, apple, fruits. Okay, according to me, I think so the orange value will not come inside it, because we are actually running this particular thing here plain. So I think so it is going to be only apple. I'll go ahead with apple here. Let me go to the next one. In UiPath Studio, which argument exists? Okay, in out and in out. So 3, this one. Which character can be used as wildcard? Wildcard, you will have 2 things in a selector. One is question mark, one more is star. So this is for single and this is for multi, not the others one. So next page. How can a full list of attributes of UI be displayed? Full list of UI be displayed. UI Explorer output outline. No, UI Explorer tool, you can display it for selectors. Okay. Which argument type does the selector property accept? Which argument type does the selector property accept? Okay, it is only string, system.string, nothing else. So what are the differences between full selectors and partial selectors? Okay, full selectors include information about the top level window. Partial selectors are recommended to perform multi actions in the same window. So full selectors include about, yes, this is correct. Partial selectors in the same window, yes, this seems to be correct. Full selectors does not include, no wrong. Partial selectors are included, no wrong. Full selectors are recommended to perform multiple actions in the same window. Okay. Partial selectors top level, no, top level we will not have for partial selectors. Full selectors are recommended to perform multiple actions in the same window. Okay, do not include information about top level window. Okay, so full selectors are recommended to perform multiple actions. Okay, so what we can do is we can select this because this is actually correct. Full partial selectors are recommended to perform multiple actions in the same window, right? This can't be correct. Yeah, so this is the correct one. Fine. So next page. Okay, in UiPath Studio, which activities can be used as anchor? Okay, so for anchor we use find image or find element. Okay, this is the one which we use for the anchor activity. What describes an anchor based activity in UiPath Studio? Okay, what describes used to interact with an element that has a stable, no, stable you don't want, used with any activity of any type of activity available in activities panel, no. Okay, so used to interact with something which has got unstable. Yeah, so this will be correct, unstable one. Next, which activities does the anchor based activity provide? Okay, searches for UI element by attaching a reliable selector and sends the hotkey until it is in the desired field. Okay, hotkey. Okay, confirms the page is fully loaded, that the elements are in the same place as where the automation was developed and it matches the selector. Okay, confirms the selector for the element is true by nearby anchored element. Okay, searches for the UI element by using another UI element as the anchor and searches for the specified area. Yes, this will be the correct one. Okay, this is more better is what I felt. Based on the practices, best practices, how can another workflow be triggered from within the current one? Okay, so we can use invoke workflow activity. Invoke code, invoke no, workflow activity is the best one. What is the main feature of a flowchart? Okay, so it provides the ability to seamlessly go from one activity or another. No, this is sequence. Determines the project behavior when encountering. No, this one will be done by say debugging part. Provides a condition to facilitate from one transition to another. This one is state machine, enables the creation of complex business and connects. Yes, this will be the correct one for flowchart. Multiple logical operator. Okay. Next, a developer has a workflow in which the value counter needs to be evaluated before the body of the loop is executed. Okay, a counter needs to be evaluated before the body. That means before going inside the body, it has to check the condition. So we can use while for this. We will check the condition before going inside that particular body of the loop, right? So while is the opposite. Afterwards it checks, right? So next, a developer needs to design a process in the following way. Okay, a process needs to validate the payment status. Okay, field in an application, there are three possible values: pending, paid, awaiting approval. Okay, for pending, the process should check the due date field. If the due date has lapsed, raise an alert, otherwise do nothing. For paid, change the overall status to completed. For awaiting approval, send an alert mail to the email address in the account owner field. Okay. Based on UiPath best practices, which activity is recommended for designing the process flow for step 2? Step 2, okay. Let me read this once again. A designer needs to design a process in the following way. The process needs to validate the payment status field in an application. Okay. There are three possible values: pending, paid, and waiting approval. So based on UiPath best practice, which activity is recommended for designing? So we have got set transaction status, switch report status, if set transaction status. I think so switch we can consider pending, paid, and approval, right? So pending, paid, or approval, right? So it's better if you go ahead with switch. Next. Okay, review the following graphic. Okay, str item is equal to arr items of 1. Okay, 1, that means the first one, 0 and 1 indicate. Okay, where is arr item? Okay, current item you are printing plus str item. Okay, there are two exceptions. One is null reference exception or else index out of range exception. Okay, finally, okay, you are taking something. So in arr items, you have got a string. Okay, you have got a string array and test. Okay, so in array items you have got only one value. So this will okay, this will be what will be the output of the workflow. So you will get an index out of range exception because here it says 1 and you have got only one value here. So the index should be 0 here, right? So they have given 1, so it is going to be index out of range exception, right? That is what it is giving the output. If the index is not mentioned, then maybe you would have got an error. Okay, fine. So next, based on best practice, how many global exception handlers can be set per automation project? So only one for the entire project. Okay, that is their process. Alright, what is the correct expression for displaying current date in the output panel using a write line activity in a DDMM y format? Format write line, we will use toString. Now we'll print the correct current date, and toString will display it correctly what you want to. Okay, so yeah, this is correct. Okay, so you have got str value 2020 in string. Okay, split value, string value split to 2. Okay, 2 you will have 2020. So 2 you have separator comma. Okay, this will be a blank, then 0 and then 0. Okay, so what will happen for item in split result? Okay, split result item to string. So you are printing this particular thing. Okay, fine. String value will be string. Okay, split result will be string of array. Okay, based on the graphic, what is the output at runtime? Once again, what are the options? Blank, blank, 0, 0, 20, 20, 20, 20. So 2, if it is considered as a separator, then you'll have your blank, you'll have 0, 0. So blank, 0, 0. Next page. Okay, a developer wants to remove the company from UiPath certification string. Which string function will return certification? Okay, UiPath certification dot substring of 6. Substring, it will take the string inside this particular thing. So we'll start the indexing 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so substring of 6. Okay, so indexing, not indexing, you'll have to take this particular thing. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is what we'll consider. Then dot trim. Okay, so if you leave this, okay, you'll have to leave this particular thing, and then you'll have to go ahead from here. So the second thing, nothing is mentioned. So after this 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever it is there, right? So this will be considered. Then 6 dot trim. Okay, trim will remove the extra space. Okay, so 6 to 14. Okay, so 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, this can't happen. Either it has to be 6 dot trim or 6. 14, 16, it will not work out the other way around. No. 6. Okay, so index 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. After that, you have got here this particular thing, trim. Okay, I'm getting confused between these two. Okay, I'll go ahead with trim. Let's see. A developer needs to ensure a string has a valid email format. This can be done regular expressions. Valid string format, email format, regular expressions. That would be the best thing what you can do. Which elements must exist for dictionary key and value? Key and value. A user needs to download a report for month of year and decides to loop over the months for using for loop. Okay. So which data type is best to hold the names of the month? It's better to hold it in an array of strings. Okay, that will be better because we know the exact kind of value what we have. Okay, so list is used for something which is which can be changed here and there. So this is better. Array is better. We know exactly how much. So this is best suited. Which data type is used for extracting data from a Microsoft Excel using read range activity? It is data table. When reading a CSV file with the read CSV file, which property needs to be checked in order to include the column names in UiPath Studio 2019.10? You want column names, has headers, you can check. Ignore quotes, no. Preserve format, no. Okay, delimiter, this is for just comma separated, but that is not a problem. So has headers. Okay, which activity can be used to retrieve the value from a certain cell from a data row object? So you can use get a row item to retrieve any specific I would say value from a data row. Which activity is used to get and filter mail messages? So mail messages, it is not available in SMTP, IMAP, POP, Exchange, also no, Outlook. We can use Outlook. Next. When you are using for for each activity to loop through a list of mail messages, how should a type argument set be set? Okay, so system.mail.mail, core mail, web mail, mail. So it is system.mail, net. Sorry, system.net.mail.mail messages. Let's go ahead. When using an Excel application scope activity, which activity should be used to sort a table directly in an Excel SX file? Okay, so this is a tricky question. So sort table or sort data table. So you have already created one. They are asking for a table. Okay, I think so. It will be sort table. Let's go ahead. What describes the file access level needed when you are using workbook read range activity? Okay, so this is again confusing. So I know that XLSX files, it will be working 2007 and ahead, higher version onwards. XLSX file is for the older version. Let us read the answers. So what describes the file access level needed when you are using workbook? Okay, workbook means that Excel should not be installed, right? So works only with XLS files, and Excel need not be installed. This is okay. So works with Excel files, and Excel does not need to be installed. XLSM files. Okay, this is something which I have not heard about. Works with XLX and XLSX files, and Excel must be installed. No, Excel need not be installed. So I'm confused with these two things. Only with no, you can check works with XLSX files, and Excel need not be installed. So this one will leave the option that we can even use SLX file. Okay, so go ahead with that. Next page. A user wants to write data table to a XLSX file. However, the file does not exist. What will happen if the Excel write range activity is used to write the data table? Okay, so file will be created and there will not be any data. File will be created and the data will be located in the file. Okay, this is what is going to happen. So next page. What is the feature of native screen scraping method? Native screen scraping method, it doesn't run in the background. It doesn't extract hidden text. Supports Citrix? No, it extracts text position. Which job status will prevent the deletion of an associate robot? Okay, so deletion of an associate robot will happen when you are running as well as pending. Okay, what is the correct sequence of status if all status are involved in the transaction execution of a queue item? From the drop down list, correct sequence. Okay, so failed, in progress, successful, retried. Okay, so the very first thing is it will be in progress, then it will fail, then it will retry, and then if it is okay, then it will become successful. So this is how it is going to be. Let me check what is the correct sequence. Transaction execution of a queue item. Yes, so in progress, if it fails, it will retry and then it will become successful, right? A robotic process item from a queue on 2020 0421. Okay, 0421, 21st April. Okay, 2020 with the queue items having the properties as shown in the graphic. What is the correct sequence in which robot will select the items to process? Okay, from the drop down list, select the correct sequence in which each item is selected by the robot. Okay, so reference 1 2 3 4. Okay, so first reference we will check with the priority and the deadline. So the very first thing what you need to select would be for high. Okay, whatever is in high priority with the deadline, right? So this one, reference 1 will be first. Okay, reference 1. Then in the normal, this one which is having the highest priority, so it has to be completed 21st, right? So we see the lower this one date, so 21st, this can be completed later. So I'll go for reference 3 as second, reference 2 as third, and then last one high. Here there is no deadline, so we will keep that particular thing last. Okay, so reference 1 is high. Yes, correct. Next page. What is the characteristic of an asset? So asset name in the get asset activity is case sensitive. All credentials stored as an asset are encrypted with the AES 256 algorithm. This feels correct. Asset information cannot be extracted by no, they can be extracted. Can be changed after the creation of asset. No, you can't change that particular thing. Okay, so 4, this is the correct one. So next. Can a package be downloaded from Orchestrator 2019-10 assuming the necessary permissions are granted? No, packages cannot be downloaded. Yes, the current package can be downloaded. Only the current version can be downloaded. Yes, any package, any version of the package can be downloaded. Okay, if the necessary permissions are there. Developer successfully published a package from 19 Studio to 19 Orchestrator. Okay, the developer did not make any changes and published again successfully. What happens in the Orchestrator? A new version of the project is sent to Orchestrator, but it is not seen in the active version. This is correct. Let us see anyways the other one. The package will generate an alert that no changes were made. Okay, no, it will create a new version. A new version is created and it is set as active. No, it will not be set as active. We will have to make it active. The new version of the project is sent to Orchestrator only if the release notes no, the first one. Okay, so next. A developer needs to create a variable to store the value of email address. What property or field is optional? Okay, So a variable scope is required. Okay, we need to set this as string, and then name is also required. Variable type is also required. Default, we can leave default plain, right? So default. What is the unique feature of UI Explorer tool? Okay, allows the developer to use wildcards in a selector. That can be done without this also. Allows to see, yes, fully hierarchy tree. Allows the developer to indicate a selector, repair a selector. No. So you can actually keep this hierarchy tree is available here. In order to ensure a robust and stable automation, which selector should be modified based on UiPath best practices? Okay, based on UiPath best practices, which selector should be modified? Okay, so we have got here tag td. Okay, this is something unique, and then let's say acme. Okay, web control. Okay, report here is a string variable. Okay, this is also unique. This is also no idx. So the last one, I could see that idx, this is something which will be creating problems. So this is something which we need to change. So it should not be actually unique, it should be something which can be general, right? So that whenever a next page, new page is loaded, it will be validating the selector. So this is something which we need to change. Okay, next one. A developer discovered that the reliable selector is unavailable for UI element that represents a button within a table. To ensure interaction with the button, which activity should be used to increase the reliability of the automation? Okay, so let me just check. So a developer discovered that a reliable selector is unavailable for a UI element, okay, that represents a button within a table. Okay, to ensure interaction with the activity, which should be used? Okay, set clipping region, mouse trigger, find children, find element. Okay, so this is something which I don't know. Uh, Developer discovered that a reliable selector is unavailable for a UI element. Okay, so set clipping region, mouse trigger, find element, find children. Okay, I'm not sure, I'll just go ahead with this find children part. Let's see. A developer has added invoke workflow file activity in main XML. Okay, so we have got invoke workflow file in main XML. Okay, to invoke the process invoices. Okay, so there are two files, main and process. Okay, developer needs to pass a data table called invoices from main to process. So invoices is in main, and you have to pass it to process invoices. Okay, what actions? So declare an in argument. This particular thing is invoices dt from main XML. Okay, so from here it should go to process invoices dot xml. Okay, so this is again a little tricky. So okay, wait, let me just read it out once again. So we have got invoices activity. Okay, fine. So declare invoices dt is in mail and process invoices xml. Okay, so from main we have to send called activity from main to process, from main to process. So from process you will have to invoke this particular thing. Declare an int argument in process xml. So you are taking one specific value, one specific argument in process, this one, right? So from there you are actually taking inside, right? So it is going to be in. Okay, view marked question. Which function is available with an attended robot? Okay, which function is available with an attended robot? So this is again, okay, we will have to anyways go ahead with one specific thing. So I will go ahead with started from robot tray, responsible for remote execution, monitoring and scheduling. This is their ability to execute under a locked screen. No, that is the task of unattended. Okay, that one I know, used for debugging and testing purpose. No, started from robot tray or command prompt. This is where I am actually considering this particular thing. Okay, I'll keep it finished. Oh, wait, next page, right? So I need to click on next page, and then What describes the characteristic of a UiPath robot? What describes the characteristic of UiPath robot? Attended and Studio robot can be used without a password. Okay. Standard robot can work on both standard machine and template. Standard machine will work. Template, I'm not sure. It should work. A robot cannot be deleted if we don't have any pending job attached to them. No specific permission is required for the user to create robot. No specific permission. No specific permission is required. Attended and Studio robot can be used without a password. Okay, let's see. Not sure. We'll see. Confirm. Okay, so it is generating the score 98%. Okay, that is nice. So I want to check which are the answers which I've got wrong. So review results. Okay, 6th one, during development a breakpoint is enabled. Later the developer, okay, when the process runs in an unattended mode, what is the expected behavior? Okay, what did I type here as the answer? Okay, I think so this is the only answer which I've got wrong. Okay, during development a breakpoint is enabled at a particular activity. When the process runs from UiPath in an unattended mode, what is the expected behavior? So explain the debug functions, how they are used, for example using breakpoint. Okay, this is where I've gone wrong. I think so it shouldn't have been putting that particular breakpoint here. I thought they would even give me the answer, but no problem. Okay, fine. So that was a great attempt. So I have got here, let me go back to my summary. I've got here 98% and I completed this particular thing in 34 minutes, which is great. Okay, so you can also try out once for this particular thing, anyone who is doing UiPath certification. So all the best, and hope to see you soon in the next video. Thank you everyone. I'll log out now.